Yo, what's going on? We trying something different today. Not a full anime pod or anything like that, but the village decided to come together to speak on one particular anime. You might can guess it from the background, but we'll get into it. But you know me, the immaculate Japan X3. I'm here doing what I'm doing, talking about that anime, talking about that manga. And I got some new guests, you know what I'm saying? One of y'all are really familiar with, but we got a new homie in the chat. So go ahead and introduce yourselves. I guess we'll go to this one right here. Whoever's over here first, you go.
I think that's me. So, I go by the name of Pablo Banton, a.k.a. PA. I appreciate you having me. It's been a few weeks in the making.
Hey man, glad to have you.
Of course, not extra. Are.dot. This still till how shoes. Yeah, we got some good anime topics to discuss.
He said good anime, then he paused. I don't know how people gonna feel about that. So, as y'all see, got Hokage Rock behind me, and everybody knows what this represents. We know about Naruto. If you've been anywhere near anime in the past, 20 years? At this point, you know of Naruto. Naruto has gone through so many transformations. We had OG Naruto, we had Shippuden, which went on forever, and now we are at Boruto. A lot of people like to leave that one off. It's like the Dragon Ball GT and Naruto. I get it, we understand. However, for what it's worth, Boruto has some good qualities, has some bad qualities, and a lot of stuff in between. And it's time to address Boruto. Because, I feel like everyone wants to write it off super easy. These guys know. I've been down since chapter 1 reading. I didn't think I would, but once I saw that first chapter, I was like, okay, let me back in here. Let's see what they do. And I'm a manga reader. Y'all know avidly. Like, I'm chapter every month. That's how Boruto was releasing, so that's how I was consuming it. Unfortunately for my anime heads, which we'll speak on, it was a different type of struggle that they was going through. So yeah, here we are. We're gonna open up discussions. First off, y'all just let me know, because like I said, like when I saw the first chapter of Boruto, it's what kind of gripped me. We saw that fight that was happening basically between Boruto and Kawaki. They were on Hokage Rock. It was all kind of destroyed. Konoha didn't look the same, and it was like, oh snap, is the implication that Naruto is dead? Like, they about to fight? What's going on? Like, no one knew what was going on. So, like, from that point, I was in. But, like, for y'all, what was it that made you even, like, hop into Boruto?
Wait, just as a refresher for myself. You know your boy got the Batman. Wasn't the show, like, running before the manga really even popped off? Wasn't that this was that show that had that kind of weird twist, or am I mixing this up with something else?
So from what I remember, the movie came out where they basically did the majority of like the first arc of Boruto in a movie after Shippuden kind of concluded. So you're introduced to Boruto, they fight the whole first Oyatsuki or whatever I forget what his name was at this point, but like they fight him in the movie and I guess win.
That was Momoshiki.
But then Momoshiki, and then his guard or whatever. So they fight both of them in the movie and kill him. I forget if that's Naruto the Last or something like that. But so that happens. I don't know how that movie introduced Boruto at all, if it even hinted at anything like that. But then the anime did start later that retold that with more depth, and the manga too. So I can't remember which came out first, unfortunately, but I do know there were like separate storylines because I think they changed some stuff from the movies, similar to kind of like how Dragon Ball Super kind of retold the Frieza movie and
it was just like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I actually got mixed up with Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball
Yeah.
might have been the one where they did the episode for the show, and then the manga
Yeah.
up there. So
yeah. In fact, Dragon Ball, Super is almost like a completely different manga for a certain amount of time. So yeah, I get how you could confuse that. But yeah, we talking about Boruto, nigga.
So good old Boruto. I mean, so I definitely was an avid Naruto fan. Naruto, which is great. Naruto was a classic anime. So, like all of us, we were all fans of it. Even the 20 of us who didn't want to join on here, they were all Naruto fans. So we go, everyone has respect for Naruto. So even with Boruto coming around, there were a lot of other like cheesy anime that also kind of dropped and some re-releases and respins, spin-offs. I was a little reluctant on Boruto, but that still was like, nah, this is supposed to be a whole nother mainline story. I was with it. So I definitely gave it a chance. And I mean, I wasn't totally thrown off with the anime. I definitely, like I said, I started anime first. And yeah, it wasn't bad. Some of the character introductions, even some of the background story or the lore for some of the other side characters, they're from their parents and kind of how they tied it. A lot of the detail was just still great. So it's like, okay, they're still on it. We're still here. But of course, spoiler alert, they didn't do enough about the details with the anime. It got really nasty. So it's like, it didn't make sense to me. But how they introduced it and how they kept everything going, okay, I was in it. So it was a no-brainer to me.
All right. What about you, Pierre?
Well, I mean, all right. So I can think of two reasons off rip. Just love for OG Naruto, right? And I think after Shippuden ended, I watched Naruto the Last, which showed Naruto a few years later. I can't remember if it's like 2 years later, maybe 4 years later after the war, but it showed him as an adult. I thought that movie was kind of dope, and then he got married, and then I saw the Boruto movie or clips from the Boruto movie when it first came out because it wasn't even like dubbed in Japanese at first. It was dubbed in like Korean or some other language, and I was like, that was just kind of whack, but I still want to watch it. And I checked it out, and I was like, all right, cool, this Boruto has potential. And then, I checked it out, and when I saw the first episode, like you mentioned, when him and Kawaki are fighting on top of Hokage Mountain, and it's like desecrated, and they got like tattoos coming down their arm, and it's like I was like, oh, okay, this is a little different. They're not weaving hand signs like they were in Naruto. So I wanted to see the growth of it to see where it would go for the next generation, and he was like, I guess Boruto was maybe like an adult or young adult at that time. So it's like, all right, so things are a little different. You got the eye; it's a different eye. I don't know who this Kawaki guy is, but they both got the marks. Something's going on, so it kind of it dragged me in because I wanted to know all the story. I just didn't know it'd take me like 200 episodes to even get close to it. But, but
That's a good segue. That's a good segue because
get into that.
This is a very interesting take on Japanese media when it comes to anime and manga, right? So you have a very popular manga, you have a very popular anime franchise, and something that happened was that the writer for Naruto, after he finished, he was kind of done. I think what's his name, Kishimoto. So once Kishimoto was out, he went on trying to make some other stuff or whatever. And so Boruto was kind of, developed by different people as far as the author that is current. Well, I think it just changed recently back to Kishimoto, but he was writing these new stories with these characters, and like Are.dot said earlier, we did get to see everyone's parents and children's kind of that was a good little thing to kind of see. But the manga, Naruto used to be in Weekly Shonen Jump, so we was getting chapters consistently, 12, 13 pages of manga every week almost, which is why I felt super long sometimes because we stayed in that Ninja War arc for years.
That's a fact.
But with Boruto, it was like, nah, we doing a chapter a month. And I'm like, okay, cool. So like each chapter comes out, you getting like 30 to 40 pages. So it was quality content each chapter. And even to this point now, we are at chapter 62 in the manga. On the flip side, though, the anime, how many episodes is it? who got the numbers?
I gotta check my Crunchyroll. It's a lot.
Oh my god, I had the answers.
209 was released August 1st, so.
Good gracious. So that's a big gap, man. 62 chapters, 209 episodes. And what's interesting is the anime tells so many different things. Apparently, like it got some slice of life moments, and I guess the original Naruto anime can compare to this. And I think we should hop into this type of discussion too, because for myself personally, when I used to watch Naruto when it was like popping in America and we was like week to week and everything like that, like the main portions of Naruto that I really enjoyed watching was pretty much episode 1 to the end of the Chunin exams when Naruto fought Gaara. Like that is like great anime. And I don't think it don't really get better than that. But like after that, you honestly can skip, and I don't know, y'all tell me if y'all agree or not, but I feel like you can skip everything until like Naruto and Sasuke fight.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it builds. The only reason I'd say kind of is because it builds the character of Naruto getting stronger.
Sure.
And him
in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, you get the lore, you get the establishing of a whole bunch of different things, but predominantly the next big thing that happens is Naruto and Sasuke fight, and that's not early. Like that's like almost 70 to like almost 80 episodes in. When like Chunin exams is done, in like the first 30 episodes or something crazy. So that being the case, Naruto was guilty of filler as well, and it seems like Boruto just decided to kind of amp that way up. Because I mean, even when you think about after Naruto and Sasuke fight, and they leave the village, what are you watching until Shippuden happens? Like, it's big filler. Yeah. And so, same thing. Like with Boruto, it seems to suffer from the same type of anime production style that original Naruto had. And I will say, when Shippuden kind of got to crank up a little bit, I mean, you could cop in Shippuden and appreciate different levels of it. When Naruto's with Jiraiya, when he's going like Four Tails, when Pain comes in, like it does kind of beat for beat kind of start keeping up a progression. It does take a while, but you are engaged because the story is moving forward. But man, I tell you, like when it would be episodes of Naruto where like none of the main characters show up, I'm like, yo, what is this? Like, I don't want to watch this no more until like something else pops up. And so it sounds like with Boruto, from my understanding, something similar has gone on where like, you have all these episodes where like literally nothing is happening. Is that true?
So
I'll go ahead.
I was going to ask if I could go first, PA, just so I gauge how correct I was. Who would be watching? I watched, like I said, this is some time ago. So it was early on, so when Boruto was released, and they started off like Naruto. You can kind of tell within the first 2 minutes of the episode, right after the introduction, you could tell if it was going to be a filler or not. And there was only less than a handful of episodes where they actually dropped a little dime of canon story, either at the very beginning or at the very end. But 9 times out of 10, if it was a filler, the whole thing is filler. You can actually skip the whole thing. Boruto, from like episode 1, and past the Momoshiki, the recap, and all that little stuff. Once he pretty much starts the school stuff, you had 90% of it start. A lot of episodes start being a lot of filler, and they'll have just a little segment of it that actually makes sense, like canon. So there's a whole bunch of Boruto doing class pranks, but then for 30 seconds he actually meets Sasuke, and then that's where you get the canon Sasuke part, and then he jumps back to surround stuff. And that's an example. That's not accurate, but They'll just start doing little stuff like that for me. So I was like, okay. So then I literally have to just keep watching. I can't just go on Google like, hey, which Boruto episodes can you skip? There's like, nah, you can't do any of that. And then past, so
I gotta agree with that. Yeah.
and then continue on. Like I said, I got up to probably I think episode 130-ish or 140 something. It kind of kept that same thing. But since the normal progression, most animes are very close to their manga series, especially at least with Naruto originally. I was thinking all the stuff that I'm watching is obviously in a manga, and I don't need to force myself to read a manga at that time because I was short on time. So it's like I'm gonna just keep rocking with this anime at this time. Years later, I find out ain't none of this have anything to do with anything manga in the slightest. And they're doing such the deepest of dives on filler, and I never even remember Naruto ever doing that. They used to have three-part fillers before and random stuff, but never like they did whole arcs, filler arcs, random villains that have nothing to do with anything. They did 30 plus. Now we did the numbers. It's more than 30 some episodes of a fake villain that's never brought up again, and I'm like, oh, this is different. To the point where it's actually Achilles' heel. I had to jump off during that whole filler arc because like the animation was bad because it's filler. The drawing was all bad. The story didn't make sense. The power skills and everything just bad. A lot of dumb stuff was going on, so now everyone has a sour taste for Naruto. I mean, for Boruto. And so that was kind of my thing. Like I said, right after that whole Jiraiya filler segment, there's a few episodes after that is where I kind of just had to stop. And yeah, I haven't gone back yet. I'm going to though, but I haven't gone back yet.
And I just found out that Japan man told me yesterday that the whole back in time arc is not in the manga.
Nope.
I would add no clue. See, I don't read the manga, so I don't know. So it's crazy, man. And one of the key differences between the beginning of like OG Naruto and the way Boruto progressed, I think, like you mentioned earlier, in the first 30 episodes up to the Chunin exam, we saw the action. We saw the main story plot, and then they kind of filled in from there later. We didn't know anything about Naruto's father or why he was being. They filled it in. With Boruto, though, it was filler from the jump, man. It was like, we don't start off with the filler. That doesn't give you time to get into it. I think they were relying too much. Yeah, they were relying too much of it coming off the heels of Naruto, right? It's just going to inherit the same fans. And that's kind of what happened. It inherited the same fans, but then you started watching it, and you're like, wait a minute, this is not the same. This is not the same. And, Boruto is this, they stayed too much on the whole, like, spoiled brat kid, because, he has everything that Naruto didn't have. Having a father, having an Hokage father, being accepted in the village, and he's running around here like, oh, F you, dad, basically. Disrespecting his statue, fighting him. It was aggravating.
It's that's an annoying anime trope. Like, we tired of that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because, and this is a good way to like kind of bring up the characters, because yes, like mad filler from the anime already, but these characters, okay, so a lot of people watch Naruto for years, right? They kept up with everything that happened, and then you have this crazy payoff by the end of it, and it's like, great, this is done. I can wrap this on a bow, we done with this. And then it's like, oh no, it's coming back. And it's like, So sometimes when it comes to sequels, a lot of people just assume this is just version 2.0, like, so like when we heard Naruto Shippuden was happening, we like, okay, that's the sequel to Naruto. However, Boruto is supposed to be a jumping point for Boruto as a character. And it's like the way you have to write a story that involves its history if you've already seen it before, right? So we've had all this lore from regular Naruto, and then all of a sudden Boruto's happening, and you got to establish his character. Then you got to talk about all the other kids of the village, because there's so many Naruto characters that all, have relationships. They all have kids. And the show is really about this next generation of kids. It's not Naruto 2. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think a lot of people maybe wanted to come in there and expect, Naruto 2, where like, oh, we're still focusing on Naruto and Sasuke. However, at this point, we're seeing that, their lives have developed. They have their own roles. This show is about the kids. And kids are annoying, fam. Like, to be quite honest, and you've already dealt with this in original Naruto, where like we started with Team 7 in school, Naruto being kind of insufferable in the beginning, just complaining all the time. And now all of a sudden his kid is doing it, and it's like, but you got the gravy life. Your dad is actually the Hokage. You don't understand everything he just went through just to get to this point. Like, come on, bro. So we've seen Naruto develop and actually become a great character, and now his son is a sucky character. And Sasuke's a deadbeat dad. Like he's not home with his kids or nothing like that.
He almost marked his daughter, man.
Man.
He almost marked. He didn't even recognize her. Like, you deadbeat. You Goku level with deadbeat.
Super Goku level, and it's like all right, here we are. Where like even like the whole Orochimaru thing, like we forgive him, kind of, sort of, and he got like his own created son. So I do think it is something to be said about the initial like presentation of all these new characters, right? Not all of them are going to be high quality. Not all of them are going to be someone you're invested with, but there is like this overhanging thought that like, okay, at some point we got to get back to what was presented in the beginning, where like Kawaki and Boruto are supposed to be fighting. So I don't know in translation to the anime how long this took, but in the manga, I would say I gave Boruto the first maybe 10 or 15 chapters before like you really start getting past the kid stuff. And you start seeing, oh, yeah, it was early on, like where he, basically Uncle Sasuke was the dad figure that Boruto wanted or needed at that time to really grow and develop.
To be honest.
Fam, yeah, like it happened very early on where they start bonding and he stops being so bratish. You know what I'm saying? And you see Sarada, she's kind of taken after Naruto. She wants to be the Hokage at some point. Boruto is like completely opposite of that. So in the anime, like how long do they kind of dwell on those type of interactions?
Well, first of all, you said 10 to 15 chapters until it kind of got to the point where he was less insufferable. I don't really know in reference how, because that seems like a long time to me. Is that not?
Like, so once a month. So yeah, well that's like I said with the whole kids stuff, and like I think that I don't know which chapter Momoshiki happened, but like have you already gotten past that point, Are.dot? You said you were like on chapter 30 or something, right? With the manga.
Momoshiki's like that in the first chapter.
That's what I'm saying. So it didn't take it does not take long to get past the point where like he's fought Momoshiki, starts using like ninja tech and
actually that might be like the first 5. Sorry, that might be like the first 5 episodes because they kind of jump off. Well, no, because even with that, Sasuke and Boruto are already bonded. So in the first 5 episodes, they beat the creator of Jutsu.
Mm-hmm.
He bonds with his father for the first time. He has his new father figure. He gets all this. They introduce like all the new main characters. Like all that within like the first 5 manga chapters. But like just one of those, like it took like 15 episodes for him to start school, meet Sasuke, have to start learning the Rasengan, and go from there. That was a minimum of 15 anime episodes. That's a lot of hours.
Yeah. To just tell something that I saw like with again like 5, 6, 10 chapters, all of a sudden we're past all this stuff. And like now it's like, oh, new stuff already happening. Yeah. What were you about to say, PA?
No, I was gonna say 20, 15, at least 20. I'm looking at the episode list right now, and boy with the Sharingan. Okay, so that's so to episode 15. What was that? A New Path Crisis. Run Sarada was episode 17. Day in the Life of the Uzumaki Family. Filler.
That's filler the title.
Right.
That's crazy.
The boy with the Sharingan. I think that must be when they introduced Shin Uchiha character. Is that not in the? Is that in the manga? I don't know if that's in the manga.
What's the name?
Shin. He was like a experiment of Orochimaru, and he wanted to.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah, he's in there. He's in there.
Wait, what do you mean?
Orochimaru's son is in the manga?
No, that's not what he said.
No, I'm saying so. Shin Uchiha was a guy that he was a person that I think Orochimaru experimented on back in the day. and he had the Sharingan. All right, he had like multiple ones. I think he had them. He had him in his eyes. He could control like a weapon, and he had like a clone son, and the son tried to kidnap Sarada. None of that's in the manga. God, that's a shocker. I mean, that was the only time. That was the first time we actually saw like Naruto action, like in
right,
Boruto.
and it's all fillers. They go so deep with the fillers. But
Wow.
the reel it back, episode 62. Tuning exams get interrupted. Um, sorry, yeah, episode 62 or 63, they catch Boruto cheating, and the tuning exams get interrupted.
Right.
Episode 63. So before
63.
that, they have the only. This is the only caveat that anime got over a manga. They actually showed the other fights.
The tuning exam?
Exactly. That's the
Okay.
only thing. So Sarada fight, even the Chikadai fight, Gaara's fake son, like they actually do show the different ones, and they kind of build hype with that. So that's actually the thing. But either way, just to show the pacing, episode 63, we're now at the part where they're introducing Momoshiki, which again, that was what? Within the first 5 of Boruto and manga.
I mean, don't forget to take into consideration the air dates.
This is chapter 5. I don't know if y'all can see that, but that's a chapter 5 of Boruto is when
that's the
Momoshiki.
Yeah, so 63, 63 to 5 chapters in manga.
That's crazy.
So I mean, episode 1 aired on 2017, and then episode 65 aired on July 19th of 2018. So you know, it's like a year later.
Yeah.
So you feel like you're starving because there's so much filler in the meantime, and
yeah,
you know, I guess in the beginning it was really Boruto and the class rep, the girl with the purple hair, her little
they went heavy with class rep. The manga don't talk about class rep like that.
So that's not in the manga.
Wow.
Do you even know who class rep is?
The school. I don't even know who you're talking about.
See, class rep is such a huge. But no, she does pop up though, because when they with the scientists and they go over to his little lab for the mission. This is in the 20s. But one of Boruto's missions, which ended up turning into an S rank mission, they have to escort the fat scientist he do. So yeah, class rep is there. So when I read it, I was like, oh, it's cool. And it does line up with the anime because she did leave. Because there's so much other drama that happened with her. So like now it's weird. Like some of their fillers and some of the episodes do they kind of pay off. But I really feel like at this point it's almost coincidence that they just did pay off.
That's the thing. The time does not compute. Like and that's crazy. So just again, that ratio of like 5 chapters to 60 something episodes is insane. So unfortunately, like the legacy of Boruto is probably always going to be tainted very heavily of just the anime portion. Like, I feel like if you've been reading the manga like me, you've been able to see this progression that's happened month after month and been like peaks, and not necessarily deep valleys, but some valleys. Right. But overall, like,
it's normal.
They get cool. Yeah, it's like normal manga stuff. Yeah. Like every time it feels like it's about to get somewhat slow, and next thing you know, we've switched and there's new threats, new enemies, new stuff to like fight or whatever. So it's never been like a super slow moment where it's just been boring, I would say. And that's what sucks with this anime, because I remember telling these guys in particular, like, yo, y'all are trashing Boruto, and I get it. Like, I understand. If the anime is that bad, I get it. But this is where I'm at in the manga. Like, I remember when they introduced Jigen, and he's like Sasuke is spying on him, and then he sees a Ten-Tail like just chilling in this little pocket dimension, and he's like, "Oh snap! I got a dip! Like this is crazy!" And then like Jigen like pulls up and is like, "Yeah, I know he was here. It's whatever." And I was like, "Oh, we going back to this already? This crazy! Like this is beyond normal Naruto stuff." And let's be real, Naruto has gone way past ninja stuff for a long time.
They're doing aliens now.
Yeah. we definitely on some science fiction stuff right now. So like when that's going out, I'm sending like I'm not trying to spoil everything, but I'm sending the group chat like, yo, like they get into it in Boruto. It's really about to pop off. And Cass is like, nah.
If you never did that, I wouldn't have kept watching it because it was like you sent the pictures of some of the frames of the manga, and I was like, "What? Like this is nothing like what I'm seeing. Like, how do I go from what I'm seeing now to what you're showing me? Like, this is wild. This is like two different worlds." And I text you when I got to that episode that kind of matched those frames you sent. I was like, "Yo, we finally that was like 2 months ago. That was 2 months ago. So that's."
Crazy. Like, and that's happened like at least like on 3 different occasions. I know like when Jigen popped up and he's like talking, he got 10 tails trapped. I'm like, oh snap,
Jigen
this
pop
joint.
up in anime because I haven't watched a Jigen episode. I know about every other Momoshiki or every other
Oyosuki, yeah.
Oh yeah. So I know about all them. I was telling you about the fishing rod. I know PA knows about the dude with the fishing rod who stood.
Is he not in? Is he not in the joint in the manga?
Does not exist. Does not exist.
60 plus
episodes.
My God. That's wild.
Jigen's that guy, and of
course,
there's some other lore with.
He got a squad, yeah, but
with Momoshikis and stuff like that. But nah, I'm 30 chapters in. I know the main villain, and I know I know that boy. We're 160 some episodes in. We did not even touch that boy, nor the secret organization behind that boy. No, none of that. So I'm like, this is nuts. Well, so I want to pull up like, all right, Jigen in anime. Let me see if I can find it.
And while he's doing that, I mean, so that is the everlasting sin of this series, unfortunately. Like, it's always going to be, again, downplayed very easily. But to turn the conversation from like why we know the obvious reasons why a lot of people don't like Boruto at this point. Oh, go ahead. You found it?
Jigen just started this summer.
For sure.
That's what he said. Yeah,
for sure. Absolutely. That was 2 months ago. He popped up, man. When I saw it, when Naruto and Sasuke fought him, and that was right where Miguel was at Japan, man. Was at the time.
Okay.
So I didn't want to say Kara's name enough like that, just in case. But no, you guys at least here, okay?
Yeah.
We there. Yeah, we know about that. But when he had knocked homie out the Susanoo, I was like, oh, it's getting real. Like that's when I was like, all right, this heating up. It's heating up.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
now,
hot, so I gotta stick in it.
Yeah. So now the anime, so from episode like 160 now to 200, it's been some crazy like ramp up. And I guess at this point now too, because I feel like at least what I got from you, Japan man, there's some stuff that's happening in the anime that's not manga again.
Let's see. So
especially like
you'll have
social media posts and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right. So yeah, there was this thing that was trending on social media. I didn't check it out, but it was like supposed to be some major Boruto spoiler that someone is dying or something. And I'm like, but far as I know, ain't nobody dead.
I always see on YouTube videos pop up talking about, Naruto has some sickness from having the Jinchuriki and he's dying. And then I don't see any evidence of that in any episode or anything that you talk about. And I'm like, man, y'all are always making stuff up. So I don't know.
That's
I don't know what to talk about.
That's a blatant lie.
That's a
fan-made nonsense.
And so I don't
like Naruto dying. That was the thing. I kept mentioning that. I was like, yo.
Right. Well, the implication of the beginning of Boruto is that I think Naruto's dead, bro. Like, and that's crazy because he's god level throughout his series, and then like he gonna die. Like that don't make no kind of sense.
So but like they take his Jinchuriki, they take the tail beat from him. They killed him, and then Sasuke's just there with nothing. They take Sasuke's eye.
Mm-hmm.
Are you fully caught up, PA?
Yeah.
Is any of this true?
It's all true.
So that's what I'm like. So now there's a whole bunch of R.I.P. Naruto posts and all this other stuff and talking about how great he was. So it's like that was also like a kicker for me. It's like, yo, I need to hurry to catch up in the manga so I can hurry to go back to the anime and really see this.
Are you telling me that Kurama dying and Sasuke getting yacked in the eye Doesn't happen in the manga.
It does. It definitely does.
I'm about to say, oh, they wild. I gotta stop.
Yeah,
I gotta
no, that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. But the thing about it,
I'm not covering the manga, by the way. I guess I forgot to say that. So I'm still in midway, but
yeah.
But that's the thing, though. So like the way the manga handles those fights. I mean, granted, they still. I mean, it's a month, so you are waiting a whole month until a new chapter comes out. And you're like, oh snap, here we go. But it's not strung out like mad long. Like it's gonna finish within 3-4 months, and then we moving on to the next beat. So like we're past that battle, and they already on some new stuff. So that's the thing. Like, and I don't even know. Like, when was the fight? Did you have the fight where Naruto and Sasuke get trapped in the big old pot, like in that little pocket dimension? Is that the initial Jigen fight? That's when he first showed up, right?
When they both there.
Okay. Right. And so have they already rated the base? Like, because it was, Kara had their own base of operations. This is spoilers? Okay, so I'm sorry. I don't want to go. I won't go too heavy then.
Yeah, I don't think they're going there. No, because right now they're talking about somebody named Code. They just introduced somebody named Code and how he might be. He has a karma, but it was
this is
defective one.
Okay.
They're on episode 219, and wait, is this a filler?
It feels like
Ishiki and Momoshiki's back up. They're discussing Momoshiki.
Right. Yeah, that's the one. That's the last episode.
So if they talking about Code, then they get into some points, like because Code is kind of like the next major antagonist. Okay, so you're gonna keep hearing about him. But the thing about it is, let me try and place this right. So have they shown the 10-tailed beast situation at all in like
briefly? They showed it when Sasuke found it, and then they recently showed it when they introduced Code because he was sleeping outside the thing that holds the Jinchuriki, the 10 tail.
Yeah. So
that's the second time they showed it.
219 was the introduction of Code.
Yep, that was 219. October 10th.
But Kawaki's already in the village?
Yeah, he been in the village.
Okay. What about it's a dude that wears glasses? Have you seen him?
The guy that defected from Karma?
From Kara, yeah. From
Kara, yeah. He came to the village and put like
so he's there too.
Shikadai, and yeah, he's there.
Where we getting at with this?
Where is? Okay, has anything happened with Jiraiya in the anime? I know y'all said there's like a flashback. What else has happened with Jiraiya?
Nothing. I mean, they got that guy that was Jiraiya's clone, but I mean.
Okay, so we do establish Jiraiya's clone, right? And then from there, like
spoiler, where are we getting at?
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
Where are we getting at?
All right, so we on different levels then. So okay, I'm just making sure this stuff has come up at least because I'm intrigued about the sequencing because, like you said, if they're already talking about Code, that almost sounds like super relevant and current. But then like it sounds like some other stuff hasn't happened yet, which happened before the big fight between Jigen and Naruto and Sasuke and like the kids. So I don't know.
Like what? Nothing you said as like, because I'm at that part. So nothing you said as like hinting at that.
I mean, they fight twice, if I'm not mistaken.
Who
fights?
The Jigen and them, they fight twice.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So and like the second fight is the epic one where like Naruto is
right. Yeah, so they fight him as Jig, and then they fight him in his Otsutsuki form.
Okay, right. All right, cool. So it does sound like the anime has definitely caught up to a place where from now on, at least as long as the manga is implying, it should be pretty on point.
Until they throw in some random.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hope they don't hit y'all with another year of filler because like stuff is going ham. Like that's what's crazy. Like every time I'm thinking like, oh, okay, this is when the whole beginning of the anime is going to come back into play. And then it just kind of throws another curveball like, oh, okay, they really are establishing whole new characters to like really get to some other stuff. So yeah, I think I'm excited to see where it goes. And for y'all to finally get to a point where y'all have gotten enough feet in the game, I guess, if you will, like time just watching Boruto, you can appreciate it to an extent. Huh?
That's it. Perseverance and patience.
Exactly.
Yeah, man. A few years of it, man. Because I mean, this junk started in 2017, and it just started getting lit in 2021.
So do you think it's a payoff? Like, does it feel like a payoff? Does it feel like a retribution to anything? Like, what is there any positives that you can gain from how sticking with Boruto has gotten to this point with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a payoff. I think the real payoff for Naruto fans is to see everybody grown up, right? That's the real payoff, see what happened to them. But it's just now coming to a point where you're starting to build an appreciation for who Boruto is going to be.
Yeah.
It's just not going there. Because they introduced what's Boruto's special eye called?
I forget, but it's like golden, right?
Nah, just it's like a Byakugan, but he sees like in the anime it's not golden. It's kind of like a Byakugan. It's not.
It's not? Oh, okay.
No, it's
Oh, I think one of the Oyasukis had like a golden version.
Golden one, yeah. He had the one that can shrink stuff. Golden. But when they introduced that eye pretty early, and no one believes that he had it, right? So that's when you start seeing, okay, something's going on with him. He's gonna have some type of particular powers, and it's supposed to be lit based off what we know what ocular jutsus can do. So it's starting to build that, but it's just now because of the whole link with the karma that you're starting to build some appreciation, or to build appreciation for his story versus not just I want to see more of what Sasuke and Naruto are doing, because usually the lit episodes are only when they showed them. Except for when they went back and past, because that was garbage. I mean, the way they did it.
You told me Sasuke had the Sherlock Holmes outfit going on.
That's funny, yeah.
R.dot know what I'm talking about. He had the Inspector Gadget jacket on with the hat, with the eye patch to cover his junk, and then he was like running around. He one of the guy with the fishing thing. He ran after him and like jumped off a cliff with him. It was like he couldn't fight no more. I was like, what?
The power scaling turned so many people off.
It was terrible. Yeah. Animation was terrible. I don't know what it was. It reminded me.
Animation was bad too, and that's a meme online. It was bad. It's not just.
It reminded me of when Dragon Ball Super first came out. You compared it to the old. It was like that. It was just bad for that arc, man. I don't know what they did, who they needed to fire. But
that's the thing, like that again. Another like with them pushing so many episodes out, it cheapens the quality all around, right? So the studios is forced to make so many episodes, and they keep pushing it out, but it's not the same quality. And you just like we know with long form animes like that, like it really takes until you get to the pop off point where okay, this is where they put the budget. And like I remember the first time anyone ever sent me anything that was like linked to Boruto as far as the anime was like when they fought Momoshiki in the anime, and they was like, oh, this fight is insane. And I was like, yeah, but that fight mad. Oh, like like when they was talking about it, I was like, I've been read this. Like this not nothing. And they did this in the movie. So yeah, they did it differently, but it did look better apparently in the anime. But like now, y'all are finally seeing like these epic scale fights that are going on. So there is a lot more budget behind it. And that sucks too when like again you spend 100 episodes on filler and ain't no reason to draw the characters that well because ain't nothing really happening. That's not the payoff. So yeah. Well, let's switch topics from just talking about the overall with Boruto to like expectations for the future. Because y'all are here now. I think y'all gonna stick around to see what happens, whether it hurts or you like it. So this is the type of pain we have to enjoy as fans. You gotta go through the trenches with it. But what are you looking forward to? Like, what do you expect to be happening? And I'm gonna say it's spoiler free from the manga side because I don't want to mess up anything. But yeah, like what do y'all think the future brings for Boruto as a franchise?
I think they're successfully gonna start this. Like it's supposed to be their new ground zero, and so the fact that they already they did excellent like inheriting of like the prior characters and creating a whole new generation. Like I guess they did excellent. Especially at least in the anime, they go even more. Like you actually see the DNA results of all the people who got married. So that they did great. So from that to also just seeing how the writers and everyone are still doing so good, are still able to come up with great ideas. The villains seemed a little iffy at first, or the fact that the world in chaos again seemed iffy because it's like we just had the war, but
Mhm.
they actually making it the introduction to the new chaos and the new upcoming climax actually kind of makes sense. Anyway, so I still have to say is like it really does seem like this is I don't know if it's even another phase of Naruto, but it does feel like this is a great ground zero, and they can just keep going and keep added on to this whole new Boruto universe. Even if it's something else crazy happens from Boruto number two, like I can see like they actually can do great and make mad bread with this.
Mm.
And I kind of have a opposite opinion. I don't know, man. I really feel like they're just going to recreate the end of Shippuden for Boruto in some kind of way. Some big scale issue happens, and they've kind of alluded to that with the whole beginning with Kawaki and Boruto. So they're going to be on odds with each other, right?
Yeah.
A bit of a Sasuke and Naruto story.
Mhm.
And they're going to be fighting, different sides. And I don't know. I think it's another war of some sorts. I don't know how many stories they can build from it. To be honest, I just don't know at this point. It's not like I guess the way that the writers tell their story is kind of different. Like take for instance, for those that know of one, might not watch One Piece, but if you look at One Piece, even, the story's so long. But even if Oda wanted to, there's so many characters he could build stories off of just by telling their story. Because they're main characters that we don't really know much about. We just found out about Sanji's family like 2 seasons back, right? So, and he had been on the show from almost from its inception. So
900 episodes in, you
right,
finally figuring out.
right. And for instance, Zoro, we don't know who Zoro's parents are, and I think they're just coming up to that point where they're going to be hinting at that now. So 1,000 episodes in, so I don't see writers for Boruto really doing that much, but kind of recreating the things that we loved about Shippuden in a different way for Boruto in its own twist, which I'm fine with. I'm totally fine
Yeah.
with that.
As long as it's not the carbon copy, right? And I feel like that's what's kind of been very apparent with how they've done Boruto, almost to the point that it's kind of funny. Like everything is kind of like flipped on his head. Like even with Boruto himself, like not liking his dad because he's Hokage, whereas Naruto wanted to be Hokage the whole show. And it's like, all right, you have all these comparisons that you could draw, but they keep trying to subvert your expectations and just say, no, we're gonna do this different. We're gonna do this different. But at the end of it, the foundation of Naruto is bonds, right? Like the power of friendship. It's this super anime trope of like, all your friends will help you be successful. But yeah, the way the anime starts off, it just kind of, I don't know, like they are fighting, like they are. So it looked like someone gonna die, and I don't really know if that happens, right? We don't know if Boruto or Kawaki are gonna kill one another, but the antagonists also kind of make this super different too, because again, all the ninjas are chilling. Like these villages, there's not much drama internally with the villages that I know of. Nothing has been implied that any of them are working with this secret organization. It's literally all these kind of like space alien type joints that's kind of like really running the show. And so yeah, it's interesting because like as far as like the future, I really don't know what they'll do. And I don't think anything if this finishes how it's supposed to, I think that's really it. Like I don't think you can really go past this point because like y'all are like doing all the ultimate stuff past even what Shippuden was doing. And you got characters coming in that do amazing things in these fights, and it's like, yeah, you can't get more powerful than this. So if the last enemy are these aliens, then yeah, I'm pretty sure probably the culmination is like if Kawaki is somewhat involved with them still, maybe Boruto tries to find a way to get them out of it so they can still be friends or whatever, but like defeat them or something. That's probably like the end all be all. But I don't see what they can push past that point to like they can't be no more villains after this. Like I don't know what they can do, to be honest.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, I am intrigued still on this road to like get to where the anime and manga first started, just to see how that fully progresses. And it seems to be coming to fruition in the manga now. So I'm happy that that's happening because again, it's only chapter 62. this feels like maybe if they get to chapter 100, we may be done with this thing. Now, again, a chapter a month, that's still a long time in comparison. However, like it doesn't seem like it's gonna be forever, ever, which is kind of like how Naruto plus Naruto Shippuden felt. That Ninja War, man. Like if you made it through that, you didn't care what happened. Like, and that's how I felt. Like when Madara was actually doing Madara stuff, and I was like, yes, we've been waiting for this dude 15 years, and he's coming in and regulating. Like that's what I've been wanting to see.
Yeah.
And then Kaguya comes out of nowhere. I was like, wait, what? Like,
I mean, they had to, man. Madara was too strong of a villain. They had to come out with something.
He was a perfect villain, man. Like
it doesn't get any stacked. And he was fighting off 5 Kages, and he was like not even breaking a sweat. He was using his clones to fight them. They had to do something. They had to go above and beyond. So they went to space, man. Nothing else to do.
It's wild. And I mean, like honestly, with him, it was like, I was hoping. Now, realistically, at that point, I could have seen if there was a time for. And some of my friends, they clown me because that's what they think Boruto is. But like, imagine if everyone was under the influence of the infinite Tsukiyomi and they in the tree or whatever. And then like at that point, here it is where you have a whole subset of stories of like characters kind of in this dreamlike world, and now they gotta like fight to get out of it and still defeat Madara. Like I thought that would have been hype when everything was going on, but like because he could have won, like he had his plan, everything happened like he wanted it to. But then like now we have Kaguya, we got her sons, and they're the whole reason why everything happened. Great. But even then, like that story was fulfilled in Naruto. So with Boruto, it doesn't make sense for like Boruto himself to kind of still have whatever spirit that, Kaguya's son had and Kawaki had the other one, because they've already resolved that, you would think. So I don't know. I don't know how they go past that point that they initially showed. I really don't. I can see Naruto dying. Like I can see that happening. I can understand why that would happen, especially because of some of the sacrifices that he has to make just to even keep up. Again, which is crazy because he was on God level. Same thing with Sasuke. Sasuke getting his eye stabbed, like that's crazy because you got all types of, you got Sharingan, Mangekyo Sharingan, you got Rinnegan type joints.
Sasuke stacked, man. Sasuke was stacked with everything.
Yeah.
He had the world. He had all the moves. Naruto basically is a one-trick pony. He got,
For sure.
Rasengan and all different variants of it, and Sasuke just had everything. But yeah, they got to bring him down the scale, man. Like you said, they're God level. You got to bring down the scale because it's not Naruto anymore. It's Boruto. So they got to dumb them down so that we can better scale Kawaki and Boruto and maybe Sadara. I don't know what role she's really gonna play. I feel like it's strange that she has glasses because they already lose eyesight after getting the manga kill. So giving her glasses, it's like she's gonna be nearsighted as frick after she busts that. She's gonna be blind. Hey, that could be it. That's gonna take Boruto, I feel like, is a little lighter than Naruto. I mean, Naruto has some dark moments, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, other than there was a guy that died in the anime. I don't know if he's in the manga, but he was Konohamaru's friend. He was a Jonin that died in one of the arcs. I forgot his name.
I can't remember if it happened or not, but yeah, no one impactful has died yet. Like,
right.
And I think that's where we're about to start getting to. Oh, what you about to say?
When they discovered the vessel that the container that Kawaki was in.
Yeah.
When he sacrificed himself, that was like the only person who actually like died, but no one knew who he was.
Yeah. And that was like in the get-go, like from the beginning. So yeah, I think we should. There's still more room for this to breathe and like impactful things to actually happen. Because like you said, some of these battles are literally just like when Naruto and Sasuke come up, they get stuff popping. But now they've kind of both been weakened. And so at this point, if stuff really starts hitting the fan, new antagonists who have different power sets than what we've been seeing, like I said, with the manga right now, the way they are describing some of these new characters is super OP. Like they different. Like they're not for play. And so that being the case, like you're gonna start seeing maybe situations where some of these people who we've loved from the original Naruto, they might have to get up out of here. And again, the village was destroyed in the beginning. So that implies that, you know, it's going to be some major scale battles that still have room to pop off and everything like that. And I'm excited to see that because, you know, at this point, like, I'm not so tied to Naruto that he has to live. Like, I'm all about switching over and doing new things if it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So, and so far they have kind of accurately given ways for him to kind of like lose his power. Like, you know, he's gonna do anything for his son, and his son is somewhat of a brat, but like he sees himself in that, so he's gonna protect his son. He's gonna protect his village. You know, and typically just like a Goku, you know, Goku died what 3-4 times. You know what I'm saying? So like, it ain't new. You know, this is an anime thing. Father's got to give it up. Now Sasuke, on the other hand, like I said, deadbeat dad, but I mean, I think he has some emotions to himself too, where he'll sacrifice and put it all on the line. So yeah, I mean, like, again, we have some of these great characters like Shikamaru, like making perfect sense for his position to be like Naruto's aide or whatever. But you know, again, people can get up out of this show and really make room for the kids to kind of blossom, because we haven't had that whole. It's been literally Naruto, Kawaki, even Sarada kind of takes a back seat to where we are now. Like, she's not relevant to any of this conflict that's happening. So again, we haven't really seen stuff pop off where it's gotten to the point where, oh, this is bad. Like, this is a bad time. So yeah, that's what I'm so intrigued about, to kind of see like where this goes, because it's so fresh and they are really trying to be different. To kind of like your point earlier, R.dot, where you were saying like, you know, it seems like the writers have kind of taken hold of it and they're doing good in that aspect, because it don't feel same old Naruto, and it could completely go back to that, you know, at the end of the PA, right, where they just kind of buddy team up attack and that's the end of the day, and then they fight each other, whatever, you know. But like, hopefully they will try to keep pushing in this area of let's be different, but not like just out of shock value. Like, everything kind of like it's a passing of the torch almost. Like, oh, Boruto, you got mad powers. We haven't really seen all of them at all. Kawaki, you got mad powers too, you know. And Sarada, like, what's your eye power going to be? You got like Tsunade powers, right? Ain't she like super strong, just like Sakura now? So, you know, all of these things can be blended together. Orochimaru, he's still somewhere out there. He'll probably be the last person in the show, to be honest. But like, you know, his son, you know, he can always get more powers and stuff too. So yeah, I feel like there's potential to be had here. I ain't gonna say it's always gonna be good, but there is a reason why I feel like more and more, besides y'all two just kind of being a testament to it, like, folks are coming around to like, oh snap, like Boruto might be kind of interesting. It might be kind of lit now.
I feel like there's got to be a time skip coming though.
Yeah,
got to be a time skip coming in order to catch up with what we saw in the first episode.
yeah,
It's got to be some type of time skip that show where they hone their skills to get to that higher level, kind of like when Naruto, you know, went away with Jiraiya and Sasuke was off with the pedophiling snake that we call Orochimaru. There's got to be something like that to bridge the gap, man. If there is, man, it's gonna be a long time. It's gonna be
that's gonna be a long wait.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a long wait. I don't mind time skips. Time skips usually imply good stuff is on the horizon. Like we can grow up a little bit and do more. Absolutely. So I definitely am not opposed to that at all. Well, yeah, man. I mean, and we talked about it. How y'all feel? Y'all got anything more y'all want to hop into? Anything else that was interesting that you want to pop off with Boruto about?
I had some other hot takes and some cool little ideas that they did do. It would go crazy, but I want to say nothing and actually be something similar that happens later on, and I get another spoiler or something. So I'm stopping here. I'm good.
All right.
Oh, no, I just think about character development in Boruto, and you know, and like we said, what they're gonna do with it and why. Like, for instance, like I mentioned earlier, Sakura with the glasses. That's strange. I don't know why she got the glasses, because they already know that once they unlock manga kill, if they use it too much, their eyes get strained. Only person's eyes that
she can use Tsunade powers for that though, or Sakura powers. If she does get killed, she can always heal herself. That was a fun little theory or idea people thought of.
Interesting. I mean, yeah, because she can't take anybody else's eyes. I mean, there's only one. It's only
I
one
mean,
Sharingan left, which is her father. So you don't even have two anymore.
well, I mean, hey man, what if Sasuke get up out of here?
So it seems like Sasuke gonna be up out of here, man, for sure.
You don't
Especially
know.
since Boruto, that's Boruto's mentor. You know, that's who he's kind of setting up. They're setting him up to be a shinobi in the dark, like Sasuke is. So in order to be that, you gotta have some pain in his life. You gotta have some loss. Not to mention the first episode, what he had on his head, whose headband that was, whose sword he had in his hand. All of that is
that's hard. That's hard.
Hey man, hey,
that
someone is doing the science. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Sasuke up
Yeah,
out
man. So that's the thing. Like, I mean, again, like, even though, like, I don't think a lot of people notice what you're talking about. Like, I don't think a lot of people like understand. Like, oh snap! Like, there are implications that this ain't just Naruto 2.0. And I think a lot of folks came into it expecting Naruto 2.0, but like, no, this is Boruto. Like that's why I like, to your point, when you say they established the lore of the world in the anime a lot, you know, that's good. Like with the ninja tech stuff, when he tried to cheat with Chunin exams and stuff like that, it's like, okay, we're going way past hand signs. You know, like the kids can even like kind of level up way faster, if you will, if they just use the ninja tech type stuff. And it's goofy, right? But it has implications for later on when you start seeing some of these like antagonists who got like weaponized body parts. They not all the way like human. They like androids almost. So within that context, it makes sense. Now, if you don't like that, if you only like Naruto back when they was throwing shuriken and everything like that, I mean, you should have been stopped watching a long time ago. Like, you're never gonna like this anymore. So this not for you. But like, if you really are okay with seeing different, but in the same universe, I don't know, man. You might want to stick around. I guess one last thing, and this can be kind of like with your hot takes if you really have any. Overall, would you say you like the characters? Like, do you like Boruto as a character now? Do you like Kawaki as a character? Like pick maybe like your top two favorite characters, your top two least favorite characters. Let's do that.
Is it too soon for me? Like I said, I got like hopes for like some of these characters. Like they're gonna go crazy. They'll take like 30 more chapters. But so far, I don't think it does happen. I was always for Orochimaru's son. His name just really slipped my mind.
Mitsuki.
Oh, okay.
The fact that y'all already played Orochimaru. I was gonna call him undercover, but not because of that. But the fact that he's undercover and nice, like he's strong, and he's always just there. Like he can always be a trump card regardless of what situation going on. Like, he has full sage. Like he was always like an interesting. He's always an interesting one for me. Sarada, of course, like I already know she's gonna go crazy at some point. She's too much there, and the whole Hokage thing. That's gonna be interesting at some point. It'd be nuts if they ever pulled the Sakura treatment for her. That would be gross and crazy, just like how they pulled Sakura didn't shoot it. Like that'd be gross. But now I have hopes for both of them. Most of the squad. Never mind, I take that back. Sakadai and then just Team 7 for the most part. I'm excited for it. The Kawaki, I'm not on his bandwagon yet. He's kind of weird. But like I said, he's still newish to me, so I'm interested to see how everything goes. The whole Boruto, them making Boruto always being able to kill somebody, like, and them running whole plays through him is also kind of weird. Like, I didn't know Rasengan was always like just the one-hitter quitter for every villain. I've never seen that before. As long as you sneak them, the Rasengan will kill them. So seeing that the past few chapters in the manga was kind of weird for me. I don't like that, but everything else has been cool. Like, I'm here. I'm excited for everything else.
You know what? When it comes to hot takes, I'm gonna start from the bottom. But the least favorite right now, and that can change, in any season. But right now, I'm gonna put Sarada on the bottom because you know, for me, she's continuing in the Sakura trend of being garbage, right? And I don't
There it
like it, especially
is.
because she's smart. She's the leader of the group, but I mean, she just now getting to the point where she got her Sharingan. She just now getting to the point where she got her Chidori. She just used it, and then after that, she like disappeared. So right now, it's like, man, come on, man, you kind of trash. And then I'd have to go with Kawaki at this point because he's new. They haven't really fleshed him out yet. I can't really say much. Top two for me, I'll throw Boruto in there because, you know, the show's about him, so his character development's always going to come first. But I really like Shikadai. I really like Shikadai's development because he's smart. He has an integral part in everything, as far as even some of the fillers. You know, his role seems to be very important. Kind of like how they did Shikamaru. His role was important as the person that was the only Chunin at the time.
Especially in Shippuden.
Yeah, so I like that. But Sarada, I hope they do her better, man. They got to do better by her because she's just gonna continue being walking in her mother's footsteps. Just
And the other Kages too. I want them to have a good hoorah.
They are like so backseated right now. Like you see them during shooting exams, I think, and that's it. Like I don't think they don't never really come back into play. Like the other Kages of the other villages.
The sword cat, he had a little something. They gave him a little something.
Which one? From which village?
He's one of the 7 swordsmen or legendary swordsmen.
Oh yeah, the one, the mist.
They gave him a little something. Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was mist or not, but yeah, they gave him
in the anime. Yeah.
And the right Kage. I want Right Kage go crazy because he was dope. Like, you know, he had a whole segment in Shippuden, so it's like. I just want to see that last hurrah because, like I said, they already introduced them. Their story's been great so far in development. So now it's like, all right, you already see how OP Naruto and Sasuke is. Let them have this is my best moment, just so we can at least see something.
I agree. That would be dope. Did they kill Killer Bee in the anime? Is he dead? In Boruto?
And OG in Boruto? What are you talking about? In Shippuden?
No, Killer Bee was alive.
He was alive at the end of the war, right?
No, in Boruto, didn't they when the Otsutsuki people came, didn't they already have the 8-tail?
Yeah.
Oh.
So is he dead? That's what I've been trying to figure out.
They
never fleshed that out.
So they took, of course, all the beasts are gone. That's Naruto, but I feel like somebody did die though, and it was a crazy stray. And Killer Bee was the stray.
The Killer Bee took the L. That's crazy.
I don't know, man.
I think they pulled up on somebody, and like that was it.
They pulled up on Killer Bee, man.
Let's see.
And I never really got the proper understanding of that, if he was gone or not. And I was like, we just gonna skate on by that? Like, you can't just because he's black, we're just gonna skate by like his life ain't matter. No pun intended.
Nah, he's alive. He's alive. It says approached by members of the Otsutsuki clan in search for Kaguya scattered chakra. They attacked B. They fought. Upon being captured by the clansmen, it fooled him into thinking it was a real bee, leading to chakra being extracted and converting.
Wait, but they say Momo.
I don't even remember all this.
Hold on, I have to watch it.
That sound like.
It sounded like it was a clone that.
Oh, okay, like he did in Shippuden, and he got away.
Yeah, it was a clone. I was about to say if B took the L, that was crazy. And I didn't. And for it to not be nothing like that, I remember. That would have been bad.
Another question.
Yes. Oh, go ahead.
Random. And now that Naruto doesn't have the 9 tails, does that mean that, because you know Naruto was like, it was through Naruto that all the tail beasts could talk to each other. It was like that portal for them to talk to each other. I'm assuming now he can't do that. He can't connect with the tail beast anymore. I mean, he was a Jinchuriki. I figured maybe some of that jutsu might be left. I don't know, or that chakra might be left, so he could connect to the tail beast. I remember in Boruto there was a filler where the one tail ended up staying with Naruto for a little bit. He was in like a little teacup. He was.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was. God.
I don't know
That was
nothing
heavy
about that.
filler. No,
That's
yeah,
another
no, that's
filler.
heavy filler.
Heavy filler, yeah.
That's still with fishing rod guy.
Yep, fishing rod guy.
Gosh.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, my theory on that is, well, first of all, anime, comics, whatever. Like, no one ever really dies except Neji. For some reason, Neji is dead. Like, Neji not ever coming back, bro. And
Nah,
that
people die in
pains me.
Naruto though. People die
Oh,
in
that's what I'm
Naruto.
saying. Like, so some people do for real. Others like they just cap for it and they come back some type of way. And I mean, there is like that whole, you know how Kabuto resurrected all those people back in the Ninja War. Like Hamadara came back basically. You know, like the reanimation jutsu.
Right.
So I do think between like the Beast in particular, I don't think it's over, especially because Naruto still got Sage Mode, and I think Sage Mode probably plays some type of importance into that. And then yeah, I mean, they've always kind of played him up to be like the animal boy, like between when he first meets Kushina, and she's kind of giving him that whole detail of like how he was born and everything like that, and you know his whole life with Kurama and like the relationship that they had together. It makes sense. And it's 9 tails. I mean, like 10 tails is where stuff gets dumb weird because that don't even look like it's from this planet. Whereas everything else kind of relates. So yeah, and it's funny too. Speaking of 10 tails, like I think that isn't the same 10 tails that was first brought in Shippuden. Like I think that's a completely different one, which also implies, well, if there can be different versions of the Beast, maybe there's more that you can pull from. So who knows? It's going to be the same Kurama that comes back. But
that's a good point.
Yeah.
I never thought about that. That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah,
Naruto has hit. It's gotten to that point. You know, they have space-time jutsu and all that type of stuff. Y'all say in the anime they've gone back in time and done stuff. Weirdly enough,
but there's a whole portal. You know, like when Orochimaru had the mask and all that kind of stuff. There's like a whole setup and like things that had to go in order for them to do it. For fishing rod guy to be able to go back in time. Like they did a whole like ancient ruining. If I'm not mistaken, that sound familiar, PA?
Yeah, something like that.
It was something weird. And they went through a portal and they got sent back.
Right. Some little portal thing that was like a turtle. It was like a time thing. And
yeah, that's what it was, a turtle. You see?
Yeah. That's weird.
60 plus episodes.
I was so confused when he started talking about that. I was like, I don't know who you're. He's like, yeah, man, he got like a red fishing rod. I was like, fam, what are you talking about? Like, I was hurt. I felt your pain because I was like, man, like, I'm sorry if I ever would have watched anime that long and I find out all that is like not really anything meaningful, I would be pissed off too.
It's a little hurtful.
So I guess as far as like my characters that I enjoy versus the ones that I kind of don't right now, I'm gonna be lame and say Naruto is a character that I like, and I think that's kind of unfair because obviously we spent more time with him. But I say it means something when I say it because I hated Naruto in the OG Naruto for a very long time. I thought he was a bad character. He only kind of like came into play when big stuff was popping off, and he never was fire. Like, and don't get me wrong, but it's like, okay, Naruto is the main person of the show. We understand. But his whole power scale thing came from Kurama. And so, like, it was only when he went into Tail Beast mode that, oh, he's super strong. But, like, what's the real, like, jutsu that he really pulled out? Shadow Clone Jutsu. Rasengan, when he finally got that. That was it. You got cats next to him. Oh, go ahead.
No. My quick question. For your manga, what did they call Shadow Clone?
What did they call it?
Yeah.
It's like doppelganger or something or whatever, right? Like,
I hate that. That's all right. I wasn't sure it was just my translator or if there's this thing. I hate that it keeps saying shadow doppelganger.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
Yeah. Nah, no worries. But like, so, Sasuke would be standing next to Naruto and it's like, oh, Sasuke, he a real nigga. Like, he know all his stuff. Like, he got jutsus out the wazoo. Like, he ready to go to war anytime. And, I mean, Sakura was on a basic level. I mean, she knew some stuff. But, like, Naruto was he was lame. Like, outside of him getting beat up and then coming back and being mad fire, but that wasn't on him. And it took all of Shippuden for him to get to a point where I was like, oh, he finally can live up to be, like, the actual best character in this show to an extent because he's developed this much. So it took a long time for me to like him. Then in Boruto, it's like it's interesting because he achieves Hokage status. He gets it, and it's like it's still a different life for him. And now you kind of see how it's not all happy, joy, because like he got to send shadow clones back to the crib. Like Sasuke a deadbeat dad because he completely left. But Naruto like raising his kid with a shadow clone, like he's not even really physically there, but it's like he can't because he's watching over the whole village and trying to keep everything intact. So it does add more layers of depth to his character that like he kind of grows into, and I appreciate that because they don't just kind of Goku him. Where like Goku he became dumb and super, and yeah, he still goes off planet, forget Chi-Chi. Like I don't like that in comparison to like where Naruto is like he's trying to handle all these responsibilities, but he's not perfect. He's not doing well in those areas. Hence why Boruto is so attracted to Sasuke as a father figure because he's there, he's present physically. Like he's like really trying to like help him out. So, but Naruto doesn't give up. You know what I'm saying? Like he's still Naruto at the end of the day, trying to be helpful. He's not super like enthusiastic as he used to be, but he's still trying to make sure his son comes along for the ride and is alright. So I kind of do like that. I guess we'll see what happens as far as him. My second favorite character, I really like Jigen. Like I like good villains. I like villains that are pivotal and kind of like have a plan that like is that plan. Like, oh, if this succeeds, it really hits the fan.
And he was like that horse trying to go after you. Like, okay, nah, there's something here.
Yeah, and it's like he's not just like stepping in the room and like Cass is like able to touch him. Like, no, like you got to be a certain level to even like talk to this dude. So like, yeah, I really like how he came in, his entrance, and then like the reveal of he gets his powers from Ten Tails, all this type of stuff. So yeah, I thought they did him well. I kind of understand what you're saying, PA, right now about Kawaki because like he's newer for y'all, whereas like they've really established him within Konoha, and that's another reason why Naruto is super dope right now too. Because even though Boruto wasn't his main focus, it's kind of like he takes on Kawaki, and Kawaki really respects Naruto, and like they bond, which helps them all to bond. Like they eventually see each other as brothers. Right. Boruto and Kawaki, and so it is setting up for a big payoff later on. Like if stuff goes sour, it's like, oh dang, like that's his brother. Like it's different than just like Naruto Sasuke. It's like that's his like adopted brother at that point. But anyway, yeah. But I can tell why you wouldn't like Kawaki as much right now. I agree wholeheartedly with Sarada though. Like that take is just super on point because she don't do nothing, and like it is lame that they do backseat some of the women of the show all the time, like very easily. So I do hope that does come full circle and they actually let her be pivotal because Sakura at a certain point in Naruto just was not relevant anymore. You understand why. She never had anything crazy except Tsunade's powers, but that lasted for a few episodes or a few chapters when like she could fight stuff. But once they started bringing planets down, like you're not relevant no more. So hopefully with her having Sharingan, access, it will keep Sarada relevant and they need someone to fill that spot for sure. Yeah. Past that, who else was lame? I don't know. I can't really think of anybody else that I just disliked.
Everybody else that was in class with Boruto.
Oh well, I don't even know them. So
they didn't touch on the manga.
I don't even know them. So that's the thing.
They don't touch that in the manga. They don't talk about Metal Leaf.
The only thing that they do in the manga when it comes like there are like certain like events that happen where he's with like some of the other kids and they're doing stuff around the town or whatever, but it's never like they don't go on very long.
We have multiple lead episodes. Like you wouldn't know that he has anxiety and he's actually scared of being in the public.
Oh nah.
Public speaking, nah. There's no chapter about public speaking.
Nah.
Choji's daughter.
She shows up. Like I kind of like how they did that because she had like a body image thing going on or whatever, but like that was it. Like that was like maybe a chapter or two and that was it. But literally like they get the kids out the way early on, fam. Like after Momoshiki and everything kind of pops off, they maybe revert back to it just a little bit, but then once Kawaki comes about, like when they actually go through that whole leave the village serious situation happens that they didn't expect, that was it. Like it's always been big wigs. Like it's like what's going on in the Hokage space with Naruto and like his security team at that point. So yeah, I don't know about them kids. I guess I'm gonna use a cop out and just say, you know, I do hope as a negative, you know, like they don't really utilize everyone else in the village, especially like, I mean, again, speaking about the women aspect, like Sakura, we don't see her. Hinata, we don't see her. Like Boruto got a whole sister. That don't really matter at all. She could be fought later on. We don't know. You know, so like that type of stuff where like you have all these other people in the village who used to be pivotal.
Hinata got beat up. That was cool that at least they referenced.
What happened?
Hinata got beat up.
Hinata got beat up in the show?
In the manga.
Like currently?
You're current. I'm not current.
Nah, I mean like
when they took Naruto, the next thing you see, Boruto walks up in the hospital. He sees his mom there. He's like, yeah. Nah, and Hinata went ham when they took Naruto away. She started fighting.
At the tuning exams.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tuning exams when Momoshiki showed up.
This is manga. Gosh. She started fighting.
Okay. That's way back. I gotta go back and see that.
Was it Momoshiki? Oh, yeah. It was one of them. Anyway, she started fighting and they took him away. She's like, nah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, like she jumped out, like, because they did some Naruto and then she, like, jumped out the stands or something. Am I tripping?
No, yeah, they were running away. Because the daughter was there, too. They were running away.
Oh, okay.
But after Naruto went away, it's just a flag. You didn't see her fight, but you saw her in the hospital. And it was like, yeah, no, she got here because she was fighting.
Okay.
It looked like she did a pain. She tried to jump in like she did with pain and ended up hurt.
Oh man. Anyway, well, yeah, I do hope like they just bring in more characters and give them more shine. Like, you know, it's good to see older Naruto characters. It's good to know they all got kids, but like the focus is literally like on like 4 or 5 people right now. So I want them to like expand it out again to kind of really give more shine to everybody. Because again, like as we've seen, the character development for everybody in the Konoha village for the most part was like on point. So yeah, I guess we'll see what happens. But yeah, overall, I think Boruto is in a good spot. I'm happy that you fellas have taken the time. Y'all have endured and gotten to this point so you can experience this journey. I don't know where it's going to go. And if it sucks, don't be mad at me. But just know that I'm the one that helped put you on. I'll just say that.
Yeah, I'm here for the long haul. I just can't get my wife to watch it. Every time I watch it, she's like, "This is trash." Yeah. I can't get her to watch. I can't get her to watch OG Naruto either. She just won't do it. So
yeah. Now it's some homies in the crew. They probably never gone. They'll come out. They'll watch this. They'll be like, "Nah, I'm never watching this show." And I get it. Like for some people, like you really wanted Shippuden to be the ending part. I understood. Like I was ready to be done with Naruto after they fought Kaguya and Sasuke and Naruto fought one last time. I was like, great, this is it. I'm done. But yeah, I mean, if you don't want to be in the Boruto space, it's okay. Don't call it trash no more, because I don't think it's trash no more, man. I think we've gotten a little bit past that trash point.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah. Now, next time when we do another one of these, you know, we'll be talking about a different anime. This is our first episode of the Noodle Shop. You know what I'm saying? We probably gonna go eat some oodles and noodles now. You know what I mean? But maybe not the oodles, but we gonna get some noodles. Yeah. We gonna get some real stuff, and we might splice that in. But this is our first go around trying to do like a little new format. So we hope y'all enjoyed. Some topics that are on the table. I know again another torture anime that I think needs to have a little bit more respect is Dragon Ball Super. I definitely understand why it gets a lot of the hate that it gets, but I also like some Dragon Ball Super. Ain't nothing like Dragon Ball. So yeah, maybe that'll be the next episode. We got some fans of One Piece in the building, as PA mentioned. You know, super One Piece fan. And I can't relate to that, but maybe some other fellas can have some discussions about it. We all a team here. So Village 285, we out here. PA again, thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate you
for having me.
You know, and you play games, you watch anime, you watch manga, man. You know what's happening. So if you ever want to be on anything else, just say word. We're out here.
Hey man, I'm with the smoke, man. Just let me know. I'm with the smoke.
Want smoke me? Want smoke me? And yes, sir, R.dot. We appreciate you, Mr. Editor-in-Chief, back there doing the recordings and everything like that. Hopefully this is all recorded. If not, it's super L. Super L. But we gonna sign off. We're gonna grab this food. We'll show y'all the ramen spot that we go to. Again, like
Yes,
one of the
sir.
main one of the main, pillars of our channel is that we live in Atlanta. So besides the anime, besides the video games, we like to show off what's going on in the ATL and in the surrounding areas, what's inside the perimeter, if you will. So follow us on this journey. But until next time, we're gonna sign off. Holla at y'all.
Peace out.
Peace. Yo, so I can't take any credit for that beautiful commercial, but stole that right from the restaurant's website that we went to. The name of the restaurant was E Ramen Plus. This is in Midtown Atlanta. Address is 1110 West Peachtree Street Northwest, Suite 300, and that's Atlanta, Georgia 30309. They typically open around lunchtime every day, around 12. Stay open until about 9:30. Fridays and Saturdays till 10:30. Closed on Mondays, it looks like. But yeah, man, the food was pretty good. We enjoyed ourselves, had a dope time, just chilling, vibing. They let us record, no questions asked. It was really just like a support thing. It was like, yo, tag us and whatever. So we definitely will, go ahead and throw them some love in the description here. So if you ever want to check them out, yeah, please do. The food, man, no one complained about anything. Some nice appetizers here and there. Man, so we really vibed out, just chilled out. The ambiance is really dope. As you can see in some of the shots here, we had our own table to ourselves. It was a pretty long table they put together for us. It wasn't necessarily overly busy, but there was a consistent flow of people just, pulling up and coming to do what it do. Parking was all right. Parking downtown always is kind of sucky, but we actually parked in a hospital parking lot right next to the place. Legit, and they validate parking, so it's only like $3 just to get out. So you love that. Saving some money as far as that. But yeah, man, this place is really dope. Their description says homemade ramen served in a contemporary eatery that has an extensive sake and cocktail menu. If you're ever in the city looking for some good eats, I would highly recommend E Ramen Plus. All right, man, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.